Lampy.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the 10,000 Club. We have none other than Doug Hale with a fancy Halloween pumpkin there behind him. We were admiring that.
Hey, it's amazing what my wife does, isn't it? Amazing.
like
I'll take credit for it. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning. And good morning to you too, Kim. Good to have you here today. Thanks for joining Doug and I.
Good morning.
We are just having tons of discussions about this changing market, aren't we, you guys?
We are.
Every moment of every day, it feels like.
Yeah. And it feels like many of our conversations have all of a sudden shifted to multiple offers and, so many buyers and emotions that now we're just in this new place. And so there's this big, So today, what's our title today was called, what did we call today? Intelligent.
This is your time.
This is our time, people. This is it, man.
This is an opportunity.
Yes, it is.
Right now, I wish I had a lot of buyers because I'd be writing contracts. I would be. I don't have them, but if you'll send them my way, I'll help.
You heard it here. Kim's accepting buyers.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, this is a time where the buyers can finally win with, I felt like the buyers that I did have through the last few years, I just felt like it was so hard to represent them, right? It was so hard to give them fair chances.
Yeah, well, or good advice, right? Because what was happening, we would tell them, these are the things that we do to help you win. And they included some really important things like inspections.
Yeah.
And, I wish there was some kind of number that we knew, and I know that that's not available, but about how many buyers got winning offers because they did that, because they waived inspections, because they had just really big appraisal guarantees. How many winning offers included an escalation clause? I mean, you guys were using them.
Yep.
Yeah. And we would have 30 minutes in the day. We used to be able to take our buyers through, and then we could come back again and we could do some due diligence and we could have an inspection. And I believe those days are back now, where you can get back in a couple times and really take a good look at it's most of the time it's the largest purchase, any person will ever make, the average person. And they had to just throw it like they were driving through Burger King. It was, for me, it was really hard to watch that happen.
Yeah. You said these words, Kim. They had to waive every right to win. So everything that made sense, everything that was in their best interest to win, sorry, can't use those things.
Yeah.
Right. Just overpay, give up everything, and you're going to win. So now we're on the other side of that. What have we been in this? A couple months since the interest rates flipped, June, July, something like that, right? They started going up. And now our buyers have an opportunity, and this is the time. And so what we're going to talk about a little bit today is, okay, rates are higher and, they're fluctuating a little bit. But if you look at the $30,000 that my buyer had to overpay to get 3%, I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you at 6%, and then you could refi when things calm down. I would highly doubt it's $30,000, right? So this is still beneficial today to lock in at a higher rate, marry the house, get in there, and come back later and refi it. And some are doing it at no charge. I've heard, I haven't checked it out, but so there's opportunity, right?
Well, and a lot of things that we talk about, the constant message that I'm hearing now, and especially these coffee hours that we're doing from agents, it's been really positive with reference to the conversation saying, hey, now we don't feel as rushed. Now we can make that intelligent buying decision. We don't feel like, oh my goodness, I'm drinking out of a fire hose. To your point, Kim, I've got to waive all my rights to everything, right? Now people are able to kind of think through this, to include inspections. I had an agent in Granville say, well, I can't believe that now I had 3 offers yesterday and they all had inspections. So we're very concerned that they bring whoever they want through that home to make sure that I am making that right decision. So, boy, the decisions of 6 months ago and the decisions of today are very different.
But I like what you just said. You had an agent in Granville that had 3 offers. which tells us that there is still areas
Yes.
where we are experiencing multiple offers. I'm hearing about them as well. But the caveat is that they include the tools that a buyer's agent would want their buyer to have.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
also include, after the offer is written and the inspection is done, comes the opportunity to say to Mr. and Mrs. Seller, hey, I found some things that I'd like you to weigh in on after the inspection.
You got it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very true.
So
So
Doug, you've had some buyers, right? That you have a couple stories that
Yeah,
you're
it's
going to
kind of-
share with.
It's kind of interesting because if I look older today than I did 6 months ago, it has a lot to do with these same buyers that started out early in the year. I'm holding the files as an example that I've held these files for, well, since January or February. And I'm blessed to have buyers that still want to buy, still want to hang in there. I think the frustration for them, I mean, is, well, I think back to January, February, and March when they really couldn't even compete. When we find the right house, so would how many others, right? We'd write offers. So you know what happens when you write offers, you get emotionally attached to the outcome, right? So you're writing offers, you're excited about this, you submit your offer, and lo and behold, the outcome is what? Oh, man, didn't get that one. So month 2 happens. We find another house number 2. We write on that offer. You know, we do the same thing over and over and over again. There is one set, and I love these kids because they're hanging in there. Not a lot of people hang in there, right? They feel like, I don't know, maybe God doesn't want me to buy a house.
That's because they have a good encourager.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have got to be totally in the corner of our buyers to let them know that, again, this is an opportunity to go back to these same people and say, look, the market's changed. It's to our advantage now because yes, there's still buyers out there, but guess what? You guys now can compete in a situation that sometimes a house stays on the market 5, 6, 7, 10 days. And it just feels to a lot of the buyers that I've been dealing with, and man alive, you go through emotion. You know, we're wearing a lot of hats these days as agents, right? Because you've got to keep your buyer emotionally attached to what's happening. And I can give you examples of folks that have gone back 6, 7, 8, and well, 11 months that didn't have the opportunity to buy a house that now have an opportunity to buy. And so I'm kind of excited about that. I'm really pumped because I'm saying, look, we got a chance to make some things happen here. So
Right.
Again, those are the differences for me, and I'm pretty excited about the next 3 months.
Yeah. I think we use this word on our live streams, emotional intelligence. And so, you know, before we were talking about it in this crazy seller's market, and now we're kind of in an in-between market. It really hasn't completely shifted. It's kind of getting more normalized maybe. But, you know, being emotionally connected to our clients and helping them guide them through these processes are really, really important. And I forgot where I was going with that. So you got to love that. I was thinking about something that Doug said. Oh, I know what I was going to say is that of all the buyers that we had on my team, and we had, you know, plenty of them who, you know, as Doug described, there's this ebb and flow of emotions that you're trying to manage. And I always say, like the house you write on, love the house you get to inspect. Because that just says
like that.
we're going to be in a like relationship for a while in the market we had been in. And then when we get to the love, that's when we've inspected it and we know that what we saw and the inspector agreed with, we can now fall in love. We can move from a dating to a marriage.
I like that. I got to write that down.
Yeah. So, but all those buyers that we were working with exception to one group, or it's a single guy, they're all sleeping right now, laying their heads on the pillow of their new home. So eventually they all won. Yeah. And if you are an agent with 5-star real estate and you can, you know, if you can connect with us in these things, I'll bet you have a story just like this of those clients and how good it felt for you to get them to that place. And if you're still hanging on to some of those buyers, we know with confidence that this is your moment.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we talk as a group about, the positivity,
Mhm.
the positivity of being around each other and learning from each other and listening to what's working for this other agent, that you can say, hey, I'm just going to take a piece of what that person's doing, apply it to what I'm doing. And boy, I mean, you're going to see some outcomes that you're going to be really excited about. So,
Yeah.
Right. I was looking at some stats yesterday, and it's very clear that even in this changing market, somebody's selling homes. And that's where that mantra comes in. Somebody's selling, it's going to be me, right? And my question to myself was, what are they doing different?
mhm.
Right? What are they doing different? Is it their mindset? Is it their marketing? Is it their prospecting? Is it their connecting? But there is business out there, and buyers are buying, sellers are selling, and we're just having to what's Greg say, adapt to what's happening, but there is still business. And I believe that what we talked about last week or week before, what you focus on expands. And when you put that out there and look for that opportunity, you will find them. And I think it's really important, as Tracy said, our emotional intelligence right now has to really stay positive and be looking for those opportunities. And I think we're just here today to encourage all the agents. Don't listen to the news. Turn it off if you have to, right?
Yep.
But keep your mindset. There is business. This is October and the weather's beautiful, and buyers and sellers are still moving around, right?
Yeah, they still have time to get in their new house before Christmas.
Yes.
I'll just say, and Doug and Kim, you can speak to this as well, but one of the ways that you can be connecting is through our coffee hours.
Yes.
And that is a great place to be connecting. We had agents at a coffee hour, wasn't it with you, Doug? Where an agent connected with another agent, and now they're going to share some buyers out of an area.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
You don't know what can happen if you don't expose yourself and put yourself in the position where you can lean into others in our company and learn their experiences. If you're a new to industry agent, sometimes you don't have the language, but be a sponge. Show up at these coffee hours. Kim has training on Tuesdays. Show up at her training. Lean into some of the expert agents that we have and some of our folks on staff.
No question, no question. And it's contagious when you see
Yes.
people that, are kind of matching ideas and talking through different situations, scenarios, and you can't help but learn from that, right? And again, the takeaway is take it back and apply it. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about doing a lot of those same similar things that most of our successful agents are already doing. So.
And to say about coffee hours, 5-star, Greg, Paul, our team, we've been very intentional about scheduling these coffee hours on purpose, right? We didn't just say, oh, let's have a coffee hour. We are intentionally having those in person because since COVID, we feel like we've been disjointed, disconnected in so many ways. And so we are really wanting to see you. We want to have you come in. We want to see you. We want to interact with you. We want to have coffee with you. And, sometimes Doug leads, Cindy, myself, Tracy, we all are in there. And sometimes there might be a couple of us and we just want to connect with you. And so if you're feeling like I'm a little bit scattered, I'm lonely, I'm discouraged, coffee hour is the place that I would start there. And like Tracy said, come to a training. I love having you in my trainings. And sometimes they're just an encouragement session sometimes. So, and then we want to mention we're having some in-person workshops that you'll see on the calendar. And, that's a good time to get in person as well. So we really want to invite you to come and be encouraged and be a part of what we're doing so that you don't feel like you're alone in this business, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that we're coming, everyone talks about the slower time, fall. It's not. It doesn't start to really slow down until Thanksgiving and Christmas. But these are opportunities to dig in, to lean in, to keep your connections. All the buyers that you had that maybe don't have the funds right now because they don't have enough money to buy at this point. All they're doing is they've stepped out to the margins. They're just retooling, recapping, filling the war chest with money a little bit. They didn't go away. They still want to buy. but they need to
Right.
be more prepared to buy in a different market. So our job is to stay connected, because as Kim said, they are still going to buy. It's a matter of when and who they will use. And if you're not top of mind, they will call someone else.
Right.
So I would encourage you to keep connecting, find ways. You know, I'm always saying, you know, it's not easy to take people out to lunch when you don't have a lot of money, but you know what, coffee's cheap. Find ways to connect with people. Go back to the 5-Star Education website and go through those business plans that we put together, 30-day business plans. If you had to eat and you needed to pay your bills in 30 days, how would you do it? Read through them, find one that you connect with, that you say, you know what, this one really feels like who I am, you know, and I connect with the way Kim wrote hers or Don wrote his, you know, and download it, make it a principle that you sit down every day and you follow those steps. And then, you know what, you might find a rhythm to it that you've changed it a little bit, but that it works for you. But find something that works and stick with it.
Yep.
Good,
And we
good
talk,
advice.
I know we talk a lot about mindset, and that's kind of what I wake up with every morning about, you know, being intentional about what you're doing each day. Be that calm, and I wrote that right on my computer screen, be the calm in the storm, because there's going to be a lot of noise that we're going to hear, right? And again, you are the voice of being the calm. You're the voice of what they need to hear. And again, just wake up with that mindset, whether it's 5 people you connect with, whether it's 10 people, whether it's 1. Connect with someone each day with that message of positivity, with that message of being the quote unquote calm in the storm. Because again, people they want to vent, they want to hear from you. And if they don't hear from you, there's a very good chance they're probably making up things in their mind. They're hearing from things outside of our world of real estate. And again, that's where you come in. That's where, as an agent, that's your value. That's your value we talk about. So
Yep. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And just before we close, you know, we had a little cheat sheet here that we want to just remind you the advantages of working with buyers right now versus 6 months ago, right? So one of the things that you couldn't get before were seller paid closing costs, right? Now you have a really good chance of getting those. We talked about waiving inspections. You couldn't even negotiate the price. You had to come in over, right? So you couldn't negotiate the price. Inspections, contingencies, longer time to close. I mean, we were giving up everything. And we could, and inspections, you couldn't even have an inspection, much less ask for a repair, right?
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to get your buyers out there right now. I have sellers and I'd love to see your offer and I'd love to negotiate. Just, I got to get you through the door, right? And so it just is a really good time for buyers to get in there, and don't be afraid to write the contract.
Yeah, and if you've got an FHA, a VA, or a RD buyer right now, guess what? They are in the game. They're in the game. So that's exciting. And I love to finish with the word negotiate, because that's a word we Kim, you just brought it up, but we haven't brought that up. We are back to the times where negotiation is on the table. So
yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, gang, good to be with you guys today. I hope you all feel encouraged about the new market that we're in this kind of more normalized market. I hope you have buyers, and I hope you win. Have a wonderful weekend, and good to be with you guys.
Good to be.
All right. Good to see you. All right. Have a good day.
Always positive, ladies. Yay.
Bye.
See ya.
Doggy. See ya.